Joining us. And let me start by apologizing for the late start. Due to the fact that we are already behind schedule, not waste any time and introduce the panel before the Public Protector addresses the House. My name is Opa Sakhawe. I'm a member of the Public Protector Communication Team. I'll start with the gentleman seated to my far left. His name is Mr. Busisiwe Mkhwebane. He is the Chief of Staff. And next to me here is our Chief Operations Officer, Ms. Basani Baloi. And then next to the gentleman to my far left is the Deputy Public Protector, Advocate Kevin Malunga, and of course the Public Protector Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane, who now has the floor to address the House.
Thank you, Oprah. Good afternoon, and thank you so much for coming. Apology again for the delay. I'm making public findings in respect of about 6 investigation reports. And as I've been saying, we have several reports which we will be issuing as an institution because we're busy finalizing our backlog project, and we had a number of cases which were older than 2 years or even more than that. So we have the following reports which we'll be issuing: allegation of undue delay by the City of Tshwane to resolve a complaint of illegal occupation of the RDP house, allegation of improper eviction by the City of Tshwane again, resulting in the unlawful demolition of a building structure. It's in Kalinen, allegation of failure by the City of Cape Town to properly regulate the operation of Uber metered taxi services in the Western Cape, allegations that the Department of Rural Development and Land Reform, currently Agriculture and Land Reform, allocated a farm but failed to accelerate the development of her business plan to ensure that or enable the funds to be availed for recapitalization and development. Allegations of maladministration, corruption, and irregularities, tender irregularities in connection with the procurement and awarding of a contract amounting to 631 million to a company called Sienza by the Amatole District Municipality without following due process. And then the last one is allegation of violation of the Executive Members' Ethics Code by Mr. Pravin Godan, as well as allegations of maladministration, corruption, and improper conduct by the South African Revenue Services. Let us start with the one of the matter between Lihobye versus the City of Tshwane. Investigated this undue delay by the city to resolve illegal occupation of the RDP house, which has been approved for Ms. Lihobye. This was then occupied by another occupant. The house is based in Mabopane, and this has been delaying since 2001. The complaint is unemployed, renting a room, and when she reported the matter to city officials, she was allegedly told that they did not know what to do, and to date the city has failed to resolve the matter. I found that the allegations are substantiated and the complainant was improperly prejudiced. To remedy this maladministration and improper conduct, the city manager must take steps to ensure that the complainant is placed in her allocated RDP house or provide her with an alternative permanent accommodation within 3 months from the date of this report, and must apologize to the complainant in writing, and the city manager must further ensure that the conduct of an investigation to establish the cause of the illegal occupation and take appropriate action. He must also ensure that an action plan indicating how the remedial action will be implemented should be sent to the Public Protector within 30 days. The next report, Babedi again versus the City of Tshwane. I investigated the allegation of improper eviction by the City of Tshwane, resulting in unlawful demolition of a building structure. This is based in Nukenza Daimane local municipality. The complainant alleged further that he had constructed an informal structure on his property, which he later demolished when he started to build a house. So he lodged a complaint with the public protector, and he alleged that the city used some company called El Shaddai Security Services to demolish the building. He alleged that he never received a notice of eviction from the city. The complainant further alleged that he lodged the complaint with the city for a claim relating to the damages he incurred as a result. So the city investigated the complaint and issued a report in 2015. In terms of the said report, the complainant was allegedly confirmed to be the lawful owner of the property. The complainant further submitted to the city that, in fact, to the office, that the city failed to pay him damages, which they've incurred, and found the allegation by the city to have properly acted or evicted the complainant from the city's land and also from unlawful demolition of the building structure. The allegation that the city improperly failed to deal with the complainant's complaint regarding unlawful demolition of the building structure in a fair and accountable manner, and also to make sure that they follow the prescripts and the principles as enshrined in the Constitution is substantiated. Further, that the complainant was improperly prejudiced by the city is substantiated. I ordered the city manager within 7 working days of the date of this report to issue an apology, a written apology to the complainant, and further within 30 days of this report establish the amount of damages the complainant has suffered so that they can reimburse the complainant, and must also send a monitoring implementation plan to the public protector. The next report relates to Masvenga versus the City of Cape Town. I also investigated allegations of failure by the City of Cape Town to regulate the operations of Uber metered services and to enforce the conditions of an agreement between the city and Uber Western Cape. The complainant alleged that Uber was allowed to operate in the city within approximately 3,000 vehicles, even though the city agreed to accommodate only 1,035. In fact, there were 3,000 vehicles, whereas in terms of the city, it's only 1,035 vehicles which were supposed to operate. And he also alleged that the city officials resorted to impounding the Uber vehicles, thereby making an amount of 10,000 profit for themselves when they impound the vehicles. This investigation was not substantiated, and the complainant also further alleged that the then Minister of Tourism, Mr. Hanekom, made traveling or was making traveling arrangements using the Uber mobile application and organizing an allegedly illegal operating taxi service. So all these allegations were unfounded, and I had to close this matter based on the evidence which was before me, which was not substantiated, because the city never failed to regulate the Uber taxis around Cape Town. The next complaint relates to Mahlangu versus Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development. This complaint was lodged by Ms. B.C. Mahlangu, who against the then Department of Rural Development and Land Reform, currently Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development, where they allocated a farm to her at Crocodile Spruit on the 4th of November 2013, but failed to accelerate the development of her business plan to enable her to receive funds for recapitalization and development. According to the complainant, the farm does not have water and electricity, and she has not been able to utilize the property for the purpose for which it was allocated. Effectively, the complainant alleged that the department delayed to allocate approved funds for this recapitalization I found that the complaint was substantiated and that the complainant was improperly prejudiced as a result of this maladministration. As a remedy, I directed the acting DG of the department to ensure that the farm allocated to the complainant is farmable and can be utilized for the purpose for which it was allocated, and to take steps to reconnect water, electricity within 30 working days of this report. The acting DG also to ensure that the department's policy on recapitalization and development program is in compliance with the relevant prescripts, which is Provision of Land and Assistance Act. In addition, the DG to ensure that the department develops and implements a risk management plan which should identify and mitigate the risks associated with non-adherence to the department's policy on recapitalization and development within 90 working days. Lastly, the DG must ensure that all employees of the department dealing with the policy are to be properly trained so that they can not cause such undue delay or such improper conduct to other complainants. So the next reports relate to Rubella and Maimane versus Amatole District Municipality. I investigated allegations of maladministration, corruption, and tender irregularities in connection with the procurement and awarding of a contract amounting to 631 million to a company called Cienza by the Amatole District without following due process. 3 complaints were received relating to claims stemming from media reports as early as 2015 in connection with this tender award. In essence, the reports suggested that during October 2014, the municipality awarded a contract to Cienza, a company owned by a certain Mr. Bongani Mpeluza, who was alleged to have strong links with a group of politically connected individuals to build 66,000 toilets at a cost of 631 million. The contract was further alleged to have been awarded to Cienza without following the municipality's supply chain management processes and procedures. I decided to investigate the following 3 issues: whether there were irregularities in awarding of the tender, and for the supply, delivery, and installation of VIP toilets, top structures by the municipality, and if so, whether this constitute improper conduct and maladministration. Whether political influence played a role in the award of the contract, and if so, what constitute improper conduct and maladministration. Whether the municipality incurred any irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure. I found that the allegation that there were irregularities in awarding the tender were substantiated. The allegation that political influence played a role in the award of the contract were unsubstantiated. No evidence could be found to suggest that the tender was awarded to Cienza because of political influence from those close to Ms. Mandashe, Mr. Itoling, and Mr. Sambula. However, I cannot ignore that this was one of the biggest infrastructure tenders where utmost care and diligence should have been exercised to fully comply with Section 217 of the Constitution. A question can be raised whether there were irregularities in the awarding of the tender for the supply, delivery, and installation of the VIP toilet top structures by the municipality would have acted in the same way had beneficiaries been ordinary citizens with the same credentials but without political links. The allegation that there were irregularities in the awarding of the tender, and as well that the municipality incurred irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure, that allegation is substantiated. Then the remedial action, I directed the municipal manager to ensure that within 15 working days of the date of this report, send a plan outlining how the remedial action will be implemented. Further, the municipal manager must ensure that The policy of the municipality is revised to include the framework outlining how further procurement in terms of Regulation 32 of the municipal supply chain regulations must be done. The municipal manager must ensure that Protector Act